Thank you, Alaska Concordia. Minister, firstly, I congratulate you on your appointment and wish you well in your new role. Minister, I very much welcome the emphasis that has been placed on the whole development of further education since this government took office in June 2020. I spoke to your predecessor on many occasions the opportunities there are to develop the further education sector on an all-Ireland cross-border basis, and I'm particularly glad that you have a substantial capital programme. And one of the projects that I'm particularly interested in is the proposed development of the state-of-the-art campus in Cavan to provide additional accommodation for Cavan Institute. So, Minister, I'd be glad to have an overall view of what's happening on the building schemes.
So thanks, Les Concordia, and thanks, Deputy Smith, and thanks for your warm words. And in 2022, 2 new capital infrastructure programmes were launched to provide for significant investment in further education and training. And these programmes are the FET College of the Future Major Project Fund and the Strategic Infrastructure Upgrade Fund. The College of the Future Major Projects Fund will support projects that can help drive reform of the FET sector, including through consolidation of provision, the integration of further education and training, the realisation of centres of excellence, and the unified tertiary planning. During this year, ETBs who are progressing proposals under the FET College of the Future Major Projects Fund will build on the significant work already completed in further developing and refining their proposals to bring a clearer focus on proposals to meet the required priority infrastructure. Once business cases are updated, they will be evaluated by SOLAS and the Department. Those proposals that meet the required evaluation criteria will move to the next stage of development, which is the planning, procurement and design, and this will take place this year. The Strategic Infrastructure Upgrade Fund is a fund to support smaller scale investments in existing FET infrastructure while ensuring that works are progressed within the context of an overall strategic plan for buildings and is aligned with the College of the Future principles. There are currently 19 projects being progressed following this programme call, all at various stages of project development, and these will be progressed also during the year. And in 2024, the total available capital budget for the ETB sector is €65.5 million, and it's my intention, Deputy Smith, because I have heard quite a lot about the Cavan campus, to try and get there as soon as possible and to meet with the local ETB in this context.
Thank you, Alaska Concordia. Minister, thank you for your reply, and you'll be very welcome to visit Cavan Institute, which has been a very successful institute since its establishment. I was very much involved with the Cavan Institute. I was the chair of the first board of management of the college, and I was very much involved in having the initial buildings and accommodation provided. It was actually the first dedicated PLC college in the country, and it has been extremely important for our region, not just for Cavan but for neighbouring counties as well, and they have developed collaboration with colleges north of the border as well, which is very important. Nowadays, the college on Cathedral Road, Cavan, doesn't have enough accommodation. It needs additional permanent accommodation, which will be provided as part of College of the Future. Minister, I am very anxious that proposed building project should proceed through the various stages as soon as possible, and that we see that additional permanent accommodation provided adjoining the existing institute, where there is ample accommodation to provide more classrooms and other ancillary accommodation as well. Thank you, Alaska Concordia.
Yeah, thanks, Les Concordia and Deputy Smith. And I agree with you. And I suppose one of the statistics that really bears testimony to what you're saying is that in a very short period of time, the budget for FET has grown from €5 million to €65 million. And that's really out of the advent of the creation of the department, which was a commitment in the programme for government. Because let's be real, I suppose, when all of this was in the Department of Education, further education was lost to an extent in relation, particularly in relation to the capital requirements that were needed, because there were just so many other competing demands. Now with a designated department, with further education really being prioritised at the level in which it is, it allows ETBs in particular to have access to funds that they never thought in a million years that would have been available to them previously. So look, that has to be something that will be recognised. And just in relation to the Cavan Institute, as the Deputy says, it's been progressed under the FET College of the Future project, and the Cavan and Monaghan ETB are now further refining their proposal to bring a clearer focus to meet the infrastructure requirements. And once the business case has been refined and updated, it will be evaluated by SOLAS. And I will be conscious, Deputy, that I know that the reply said that there are a number of these that are progressing. They will not progress together based on who's the slowest. So whoever can move at the quickest pace will be the ones that will be advanced. So we won't be holding them back.
Thank you, Minister, and I can assure you that Cavan and ETB will work very diligently and to put together a very strong business case to advance this accommodation proposal. Minister, again, I don't think we in this House can emphasise enough the importance of the further education sector. I have seen so many young people over the years who may have come from some communities where there wasn't a particular heavy emphasis on education, and I have seen so many of those go on to further education, such as Cavan Institute, such as Monaghan Institute, get qualifications there. Sometimes it's a pathway to higher education, or it's a pathway to a very successful careers. And again, another very important aspect, as you know well, Minister, of the colleges of further education is that they respond to local needs of local industry and local communities as well. And again, I would emphasise the opportunities there are for further collaboration with the South West College in Enniskillen and in Omagh. I've had a very close association with those colleges over the years, and I think there's great potential there to develop the sector on an all-Ireland basis. And we have to ensure, Minister, and I know that's why the capital budget has been put in place, is to ensure that these colleges have the most modern and appropriate accommodation to meet the needs of their students and the staff delivering the services there as well. Thank you, Alaskan Corla.
Yeah, and I think it's important to point out as well that the Valve grant scheme, which was administered by Solas but came from the department of just over €8 million that the Cavan and Monaghan ETB for Cavan benefited just to the tune of under $500,000, which is, you know, is small money in the context, but it certainly is an awful lot of money when you're looking for it, and a lot of money in terms of making sure that the basic infrastructure requirements that are needed for the trainees and the employers that you're referring to, Deputy Smith, can be met in the short and immediate term. In I suppose the term from now on, the challenge will be the business case to make sure that that is advanced and is prioritised as quickly as possible, and that we can turn it around, because we have a capital budget that we never had before, and these are the type of places, particularly in regional and rural locations, because these are third level locations. These are places that people will receive tertiary education, and that's why rural towns like Cavan and Monaghan is places that I would like to see in my tenure in this department being prioritised.